Pocket Party Podcast. It's my favorite podcast. The Pocket Party Podcast.
And we're back, everybody. It's your host, Darren Carter, the party starter. Oh, that's nice.
I can't do it like you.
By the way, I am available for Cameo. Go to cameo.com. Look for me, Darren Carter, and I'll do a personal video for you.
Give us a little of the real stuff.
The real stuff.
The real beatboxing.
Oh, the real beatbox. Here we go. And then you hit with that bass. There you go.
Sounds like a child trying to do it.
Yeah. Did you ever go through a period where you tried to beatbox?
No. Did you?
No. I did. Well, see, that's the thing. When I came up, son. I remember like when I first heard about rap and hip hop.
Yeah.
Well, back then it was called rap, but
right.
I thought it was the most interesting, like, cool new form of music that was just like that I could do in my own room.
Right.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like
You
other
were inspired.
Yeah, other music you have to learn how to play an instrument. You had to write a whole song. But I mean, back in like, in the early '80s, you the rhymes were pretty easy too. It'd be like, I went to the store, I walked through a door, the rain.
And
you know
you
what I
were
mean?
excited by this new form of music.
Dude, I loved it. And
I'm
plus,
doing Larry King right now.
yeah,
Just
do
like
Larry.
just whatever you say, he just agrees with it in different words.
Yeah.
And you liked it. Yeah.
I liked it. Yeah, you be Larry King and I'll be me. But it's true, I liked it a lot because back then it was a little bit like they would tell stories with the rap. It was kind of like novelty type songs, like Friends. How many of us have them? Friends.
And you used to listen to these songs.
Yeah, the freaks come out at
See
night.
what I'm doing? I'm just doing.
The freaks come out at night.
By the way, I interviewed
Yeah.
Larry King once.
You did.
And I asked him tips for how to be a better interviewer, and he gave me tips that made me a way better interviewer. That interview was one of the most valuable interviews I ever did because I got a one-on-one coaching session from one of the great interviewers, Larry King. I'm making fun of him, but he was one of the great interviewers because he made people so comfortable that they'd open up and
And you like making people comfortable.
yeah, exactly. See, but he like, he's like Paul McCartney. Like when you hear a Paul McCartney song, it looks so simple, but it's so good. But you're like, doodly doodly doo. It's like it seems, like it seems so. I'm trying to think of a good example, but like there's so many where it's just like
That Wings song, the one that has like the three different levels in the song.
like silly love songs.
Yeah.
Silly, like he made fun. It was so meta, silly love songs, because he's doing silly love songs, then he's making fun of people criticizing silly love songs by doing a silly love song. So but Larry King was brilliant in his simplicity. But I asked him things. First of all, I would say, "Can I ask you a question?" He goes, "You don't need to say, 'Can I ask you a question?' I've already agreed to do the interview, which means I consent to all questions." So I said, "Oh, okay, yeah." And then I said, I was really insecure. I said, sometimes I'm interviewing someone and they're saying something and I don't know what it is and I don't want to look stupid. And I'm sitting there pretending like I know what they're talking about because I'm insecure and I don't want to expose myself for being
a fraud.
right. So he said, "Don't worry about any of that."
Yeah.
He said, "The audience will always forgive you if you're honest with them." And that always stuck with me. He says, "You don't have to know anything. You don't have to know it," and nobody proves that better than Theo Vaughn. But and I say that with love. But you don't have to know anything, and as long as you genuinely are asking and you want to, you're curious, the audience, even if they know the thing, they don't care. They're happy to hear you learn it.
Right.
And that made me so relaxed to do interviews from then on. I said, "Oh, it's all forgivable. Like, I don't have to be smart. I don't have to be well-read. I don't have..." Because my dad always used to say, "You don't read anything, Daniel. You don't read. You're an illiterate person." and he's right. But
do you listen to audio at least? Do you listen to audio
now
books?
I do, but that wasn't really accessible to me when I was younger. And I have severe ADHD, so I cannot focus on a book very long. And so I can't stay with it for very long, and it's just too frustrating. I'll be reading and I'll realize I just read 5 pages and absorbed none of it. So then I got to go back 5 pages.
I do that too. By the way, I was watching your comedy tonight, and it's, by the way, you crushed. You were so funny, and your laughs were louder than, you know, a lot of the other comics on the bill, and they were twice as long. And yet there was little moments where I'm like, he is smart. Like behind all the how you break stuff down about being at SeaWorld, and then you went into a thing about China and the pandas. It's like you're telling the audience these things. So maybe for that you kind of read up on some facts about how, I guess, China, they have the copyrights to pandas or something, and they loan out pandas.
They loan their pandas out. They don't let you keep the panda, which I think is crazy. Like why can't somebody stand up to China and keep a panda? But I'm like stupid smart. That's like comedy. Comedy is often super stupid smart, because if it's smart, it's a TED Talk, right?
Yeah.
But if it's stupid smart, it's like, it's so interesting because people come out to comedy. Everybody loves to talk grandiose about comedy. It opens your mind. It allows you to see the world in ways. Yes, it does sometimes, but more often than not, it's stupid. And if you really want to open your mind to everything, yes, the thing is, there's 2 things that are true here. One is that laughing is a great relaxer. And then you're uninhibited and you can take in new ideas. And then you got brilliant guys like George Carlin, may he rest in peace, though I don't know if he'd like me to say that. But I think he had a whole bit about how he didn't like that. But George Carlin was such a philosopher in his comedy, especially towards the end. And he was espousing brilliant ideas that many of them are still very relevant. But most people are idiots up there. Most of the comedians are not George Carlin. And most of the audience are not coming out to hear George Carlin.
Right.
They're coming out to take down a few boos and forget about their shitty boss that keeps breathing down their neck and their, whatever's stressing them out in their life. And they come out to watch people say very stupid things into a microphone so they can laugh.
Right.
That's truly what it is, without grandiose... because nobody wants to feel like that's their job.
Right.
So comedians like to think, no, what I'm doing is sophisticated. What I'm doing, look, if you want to learn a lot, you're going to learn a lot more from listening to like an expert in something than you are from the comedian who's giving you like little bits of something they found on Wikipedia that work well with their joke. Right?
But you're right. I think with laughter and with comedy, it's what you're learning is relatability. Like sometimes I'll do a joke and they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, that's my wife is like that too. My household is like that."
Right.
I uploaded a video today about going to your grandma's house when it was all hot, and one of the lines in the thing was like, why do older people like to keep the thermostat their age? And she comes out of the back bedroom, who keeps setting it below 90? And I just really paint this picture, and the first comment I got was this guy goes, "Dude, that's my house. I'd love to keep it in the 50s, but everyone else here likes to keep the thermostat in the 80s." And
you think old people are hedging their bets? Like if they're going to hell, it won't be such a bad transition. I'm used to the warmth. Like if they don't go to hell, it's like, okay, this is nice. I've been living in a hot house for so long. But if they do go to hell, they're like, I prepared for this. Relatability, yes. It's so interesting. Like if you look at life, the human experience, right? We don't know what it is. We don't really understand consciousness, and people have different theories, and theologians or philosophers or whoever you're looking at will tell you one thing or another thing. But what we do know is that for some amount of time, we have this interactive consciousness on this planet that we come in here, we grow up, we experience the world along with billions of other people, most of whom we'll never meet. Maybe they don't even exist. Maybe we've been lied to. Maybe there's only a few people and a lot of extras. Anyway. But now there's all these people, and we're all experiencing this very weird, mystical consciousness, this weird reality on this planet for this limited amount of time, and we're like, what? We're all going around like, what the hell is this? When we're present, we're like that. When we're not present, we're just going through the motions of
Like,
life.
I got to find a parking spot. I got to get gas. I
Yeah.
got to get home. I got to get something to eat. I got to take a nap. I got to get 8 hours of sleep. We're thinking like that.
Yeah. But when we're very, very present, we're like, what is all this? Why did God, if you believe in God, I do, why did God put me in a world with a microphone? Like, God designed this world, right? From my point of view, and again, you take it from your own point of view, whoever's listening, but I'll tell you from mine. God designed this world. He put me in it at a very specific time in history for whatever amount of time I'm here. At the same time, there's microphones, right? At the same time, there's doorknobs. At the same time, there's light switches and cholesterol and the moon and a fork, right? All these different things that exist with me.
An iPhone.
All these different things that are coexisting with me on this planet for the time that I'm here. And I'm supposed to process all this? So then you hear...
But it's all you know, though. It's all you know.
Right, but you're like, how do you process all this? Like, what is this recording? How long does it go for? How long does it last? Does it, does it live on forever? Does it live on until podcasting ends and they shut down all the servers that are hosting billions of hours of audio? I mean, what is this? Who's listening to it? What's the point? Who's it going to help? Like, I have no idea. You have no idea. But we're going through the whole motion of it totally in the dark.
That's right, folks. If you're just tuning in, we're interviewing the most philosophical man.
No, but then you're like...
Why am I here?
But then,
How
you
come
go,
I'm here?
then you go to a comedy club,
Right.
and somebody says something that you identify from this crazy mystical experience you're going through, and you go, oh, yeah, that is a weird thing that's going on, right? Yeah. And it makes you laugh because for a little moment, whether you're aware of it or not, they're bringing to the forefront of your mind this weird consciousness that you've been experiencing.
Right. And I'll tell you one thing that you did tonight. You talked about taking the family to SeaWorld, and I love it. You said you take them to, what was it, like off the beaten path theme parks? Or what was the word?
B-level theme park kind of.
Yeah.
Like it's not Disneyland. It's the one you can get the coupons for and stuff,
And it was funny the way you described it. You said it's the theme park that tried to get canceled or something.
They tried to cancel it with all those documentaries about beating up whales, but it survived anyway. And now it's just kind of like this canceled celebrity who's still hanging in there, like Woody Allen, Yeah. It's like they put out the documentary. They gave it their best shot with the docs. People are still showing up. They're like, whatever,
It's such a great take because I was like, I don't really think about SeaWorld, but when you said SeaWorld, you're right. My mind goes, I was like, wasn't there something called Blackfish or something? And then I remember it might have been Steve-O that went to a billboard and chained himself to a billboard or something to get attention, like, stop hurting the whales. And so when you said SeaWorld, I was thinking, like, I wonder if anyone in the crowd's going to go like, ooh, who would take their kid? And it was great because immediately, right when I had that flashing thought, you were like, it's like a theme park that they try to cancel, but it's not. And you said that they try to smooth everything over. What do they do? Because they give a lot of announcements.
They give you a lot of these lectures about how ethical they are.
Yeah.
They're like, you care. Like, you're not that. You just want your kid to get splashed by the big animal, But they're like, SeaWorld respects our oceans. The ocean is a magical place filled with biological blah, blah, blah. And you're just sitting there like, okay, we get it. We don't care. We still showed up. We're still putting money in your pockets. We're not the ones you need to be talking to. Just spare us the lecture.
You're like, we're in the stands eating fish sticks.
Our ocean. Yeah, I said, we're the one. We're sitting here eating fish sticks in the stands. We don't care what you do to fish, But
Are we going to get wet? We want to get wet.
Our ocean is a wonderful ecosystem that must be respected by human neighbors.
Yeah, the zoo does that too. Whenever I go to the zoo, they always have all these things. You're like, I just want to see the elephant eat peanuts.
Yeah, you don't want to hear it, And then they feel guilt. It's like they feel like they have to say that to you, but you don't want to hear it. You're there. You've already forgiven it by the fact that you're there.
You know what? You talked about this common experience. I was on the phone the other day with a buddy of mine. Now, he's around the same age that I am, and we were talking about different women that we had kind of a crush on, growing up, like different music stars and TV stars. And I'm curious if there's if you and I think I'm a little older than you, so it might be different ones. And these are ones I hadn't thought about in a long time.
Like Christy Brinkley?
Christy Brinkley, she's very pretty, but I didn't really.
Christy Brinkley. Oh, if I could have had a chance with that young Christy Brinkley, I'll tell you.
Billy Joel, right? Billy Joel's wife?
Yeah. Still rock and roll to me.
Love Billy Joel. No, but my buddy, I forget how it came up, but we talked about Deborah Harry from Blondie, and I'm like, dude, you knew? Oh my gosh, I thought she was she was like one of the prettiest girls, and like
she was no Christy Brinkley, was she?
Do you know Blondie's music?
Christy Brinkley's
The Tide Is High. You know that? Like
I know something.
Like Heart of Glass. I mean, she just was. Her face was pretty. Her music was great. And then I also like Dolly Parton. I like my friend said he said he didn't like Dolly Parton until I get older. But I was a young person. I just thought she was a great personality and
different time, man. But I'll tell you, if I could have had my way with that Christy Brinkley, oh my goodness, I would have got her pregnant right away, lock her down, like that Billy Joel fella did.
Who else did you like?
I like Christy Brinkley.
Really? You're all about Christy Brinkley.
Yeah, I am all about.
But I think back then when I was growing up, and just like my buddy, there was less people on TV. There was less channels because he's like every woman he named. I'm like, yeah, like, Deborah Harry, Dolly Parton. Then he goes, I also liked from Charlie's Angels. He liked Kate Jackson, I think.
Number one for me was Shakira.
Shakira. Well, see, you're younger. You like Shakira?
I love Shakira.
Dude, I was already married by the time Shakira.
Tell me one more time. Yeah.
Do your hips lie?
I love an honest hip.
Yeah.
I love an honest hip. And then she said my hips don't lie. Maybe the rest of her does, but those hips.
Did you know she got in trouble for tax evasion?
Because she didn't have her hips do her taxes.
Right.
Now, if she would have had done her taxes by her hip, then she would have never had it. No, they just dropped those charges. I was like,
good.
I was like, my love, you are okay, my love. Yeah. It's okay. I come to Spain and rescue you. You have no more tax problems. We will run away to the moonlight together. Me and Shakira.
Yeah, he said he liked Christy. No, that's you that likes
Christy Brinkley.
And then the fourth woman that he goes, oh, and I used to have a big crush on Linda Carter. Wonder Woman.
Yeah, it's before my time.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't. I like.
Who was really hot? Like what?
I wonder who your partner from the podcast liked. Mark. He's older. I wonder who his crushes were back in the day.
What was her name? Gertrude. No, I'm kidding.
He liked the Gertrude from Bewitched. He liked He liked Grandma Walton.
B. Arthur, he was very.
He liked B. Arthur. He liked the maid on the Brady Bunch.
Who was the
Alice
woman from Sunset Boulevard, the actress?
No. Oh yeah, gosh.
Certain names are fun to say with a Scottish accent, and Christy Brinkley, that's really one of them. But when I was in
Christy Brinkley,
when I was in Edinburgh Festival one year, one of the venues had a party, an after party, and I thought this would be a cool venue to come and play next year. They said, that's the owner right over there. That's the guy who you got to get in good with, because if he likes you, maybe he'll give you a time slot for next year's festival at this place. So I go over to talk to him. He's hammered, hammered, and he's like, one of these guys throws his sweaty arm right around you, and he goes, you big bitey, pretty, what, from America? What are you, a comedian? You can make out whatever he's saying. I said, I'm still trying. I'm like, I'd really like to play at your venue here, He goes, you like to play it? Okay, all right, well, I'll tell you, I'll make you a deal. He goes, and he looks at me all serious, squints his eyes, he goes, do you know Artie Lang? I said, Artie Lang? Yeah, I do know Artie Lang. He goes, listen to me. He's like all drunk. Listen to me, you get me Artie Lang, and you can have whatever spot you like next year. I love Artie Lang, man. He's brilliant. He's just dead fucking brilliant. Artie Lang is Oh my God! If I keep me heart along, I'll be just in heaven, man. So the whole rest of the summer, all I could do is Artie Lang. I love Artie Lang.
Did you ever reach out to Artie Lang?
No, not about that.
Like,
Hey Artie, Artie, I'd really like to play this venue. And
yeah.
Artie Lang is a great guy. I got to know him a little bit. I did his show a few times when he had a TV show.
Yeah.
And we had a blast. And I mean, I don't know what he's up to these days, but
Hope he's well. Hope he's doing good,
You do?
I do. I really do. I hope
Why?
he's doing well because, he had all those problems.
What's it to you?
Well, he was hounded for a long time by a Scottish festival promoter.
If I could talk you out of wishing him well.
I know.
Artie Lang would be a thrill, pal. If I could get an Artie Lang character over here to Scotland, oh my God, I'd show him a good time at my venue. You tell him that I sent you, and I want Artie Lang to play here. I go, okay, all right, thank you. It was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. Man, that's pretty cool that you got to talk to. Going back to Larry King, that's pretty.
Yeah.
That's interesting that guy's an icon. And what were 3 tips that Larry King gave you? If you could summarize 3 tips that if you could remember.
2 of them I told you. One is the not asking if you can ask a question, and the other one is the audience will forgive you for everything. And I think the other one is to listen. To listen, you gotta. Listening is just as important as talking. The negative space and the positive space in the interview, right? So, like, a lot of interviewers make the mistake that they just can't wait to get the next thing out. They're like, but just let the person talk. When you tune into an interview, presumably, that nowadays it's different with podcasting because people become fans of the host. So sometimes they don't even care about the guest; they just want to hear the host. But typically, like, people who tune in for a specific person for the interview, they want to hear from that person. So, ask some good questions and then just let the person go. You don't have to interject so much. I'm not talking to you, but you and I have a rapport. We're good friends, and you can interject as much as you like. But personally, I wouldn't care anyway. But, I mean, just you get an opportunity to interview somebody who's actually a fascinating person or whatever. Let him talk,
Right, like we watched the Michael movie. Thank you, Michael Jackson. And dude, I love the movie, and I've been watching these videos, right, like different interviews, and I like it when they let Michael do his thing. I hate when they cut him off or they try to do their own. Yeah. It's so annoying, Like there's this one with Oprah, and she keeps cutting him off, and Oprah Winfrey keeps. And I'm like, dude, let him shine. Let him do his thing, man. Yeah. It's like, and it was a thing where he was kind of beatboxing, doing a song. He's like, and I was like, let him do it, and
do it. Like, we're all sitting there like, you got this person to agree to get on camera and answer questions and talk. Now, please, just let them. Because if I could have got them, I would just want to let them, So, let them talk. Let them talk. Let them talk.
Yeah. You're right, though, about if you don't know something. I remember when I started the podcast, I used to love listening to other podcasts, and I was like, oh my gosh, I could never, how would I fit on that? If I was in the room, because these guys would be talking about these, like Mandalorian or some TV series I never saw. And then, like you said, you just let them know straight up. Like if they're talking and it's a conversation and they'll be like, like in that movie, Annie Hall. And I've learned just to go like, oh yeah, because I don't want to like hit the brakes every time. Like I'll just say, yeah. But if they want to go further with it, then I'll just be honest and be like,
I don't know that. Yeah,
I don't know. Tell me about it.
Right. So I don't really have a follow-up to what you just said, except that I agree with it. But I want to go back. You gave me a nice compliment earlier. And by the way, many, many years ago, I heard Bill Burr say that he had a hard time accepting compliments. And then he realized, just accept them. Nobody wants you to push back on them. And it's better for you anyway to accept the compliment. Just say thank you. And so I learned from that to take compliments, because I also was very uncomfortable with compliments. But I want to repay your compliment with a compliment to you. And not because I feel I have to, but because I want to. That when you're on a lineup, you're one of the few people I'll come in and watch. Because most comedy, I find it boring. It's also it's sometimes.
Thank you, by
I
the way.
don't
Thank
want
you.
In my head, like sometimes I don't really want to picture the most disgusting things a person can think to say. Not because I'm a prude, but just because like I left the house without that. I don't want to come home with it. So like it's very important what you pick up when you leave the house, what you see, what you say, what you hear. It all affects you, and it compounds into you, and you got to be careful what your influences are, and you got to be careful what ingredients are in, the recipe that is your mind. So, But anyway, I'm happy to watch dirty comedians that are funny, like Dave Attell,
Right.
But most of the time, it's nothing to do with dirty. It's just the fact that it's boring to me, because I've been doing comedy since I was like 15. I've seen a lot of comedians. But why I like to watch you, not just because you're my friend, is because you break up the monotony of the show. You have all these like frequencies that are similar, and I try to be a different frequency up there too, which is I think what you were responding to before with your compliment. But you hear a lot of the same frequency, and then you're a frequency disruptor. You come up there, you're beatboxing, you got the flashlight, you're doing impressions, you're doing Rocky, you're doing like Michael, you're having fun, you're being silly, you're being goofy. I can't do it. The voice for the women. Yeah. Can you do it?
All the sexy ladies. Let me hear you say, hey, hey. Now let me hear you say,
So that right there is the beauty of Darren Carter summed up in one piece, because most comedians would be too self-conscious to do something like that. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like I'm saying that it's a very good thing. It shows that you're very secure in your comedy. It shows that you're a risk taker. You do different things. You don't care. You're not. I don't know if you care, but like I think a lot of comedians are like, oh, I don't want to do that because there's going to be that comic in the back of the room who's going to see me and think I'm lowbrow or something. And a lot of comedians perform for other comedians, and they're not performing for the audience. And the audience are completely unaware of this. They think you're there for them, but you're there for that other person. Now that other person doesn't care about you. They care about themselves. They don't care about if you're goofy or if you're... In fact, they might like it. Like I like it. Like when a comic goes up there and they're willing to be silly and goofy and not take themselves so seriously. I'm a very serious artist, and you go, play.
Oh yeah, he's talking about when I go. When I get on stage, within the first 20 seconds, sometimes I go, I'm a very serious artist, and then I bend over and I do the wiki like you're scratching a record, except I do it on my bald head. I go
right, but the guy who goes on after you 9 times out of 10 does think he's a very serious artist, and that's what makes him not a serious artist. Because he's too self-conscious of his own art. And that's something I try to fight against myself. And I think I've gotten much better of it over the years. But going back to Bill Burr, when I was very early in comedy one night, I was playing at what was once the Boston Comedy Club. It had been renamed the Comedy Village in New York. And I hated the crowd that night. I really hated them. They weren't a good crowd. They weren't giving me any love for my written jokes. So I decided to punish them for the rest of the night and scrap my material for the rest of my time and try and juggle an empty Heineken bottle while singing an Irish song. So I said, I'm going up there doing this Johnny McEldew song from the Clancy Brothers, throwing around this, maybe it was 2 empty bottles. I was going, that you don't deserve jokes anymore. I'm just going to do this. There's Johnny McEldew and Mickey and me and a couple or 2 or 3 went to spree. So I'm doing this to punish the audience.
Yeah.
Then I look up and I see who's standing there watching me, who had never seen me before, who I looked up to, is Bill Burr. And a little part of my heart dropped inside. I was like, oh no. Now he thinks this is what I do. And I was so embarrassed, but I continued on, and I finished up, and then I get off stage, and I was just like, oh gosh, please let me get out before he sees me. And Bill comes up to me and he goes, I really respect that you did that. And he goes, that was so different and so funny and original. And he says, I love seeing stuff like that. I was so shocked. And he was genuine. He was telling me genuinely, because I was like, well, there goes every theory I ever had about what other comedians are thinking of me.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm up there. You don't know what they're thinking of you. You might be killing with some of the stuff that you think is so smart and everything, and they're sitting there going like, I don't like Jews. Like, you know, like, so you're thinking, wow, they must really respect me now. And they get off, and it turns out they just didn't like you because you're Jewish or fat or anything. Yeah. Or maybe they did like you or whatever. It doesn't matter. You can't predict it. You shouldn't be performing for other comedians.
Right.
Perform for the audience. They're the ones who paid the money to see you. They're the only ones who can help you. And the other comedians are never going to help you. They don't care about you. They care about themselves. They're thinking if they're a good comedian, they're thinking about what they're about to do on stage, right?
That's right.
So
that is right.
So anyway, I got a lot of respect for you because you're ballsy up there, and you're different, and you're goofy, and you're funny, and you're silly, and you break the frequency.
I like it, man. You know, I was thinking about this the other day, and I don't know if you'd want to do this. I didn't even ask you to do this, but one of my earlier podcasts, a thing that I used to do was a gratitude list. You know, I'd have a guest, and we would just say like a few things that we were thankful for.
Yeah.
And it kind of puts you in the right mindset. And I'd like to say that you know, I'm grateful to have a good friend like you. I can talk to on the phone and have a podcast, and I'm thankful that you know.
You'd like to say it, but you don't want to.
I know, yeah. And I'm thankful, and like how funny you are, man. You crushed up there.
Thank you.
And I'm thankful that, you know, I have a family. I remember there was a time I was single, and I was like, am I ever going to get married? And then when we got married, you wonder like, well, will we ever have children? And then we have a beautiful son who turned 18. He's in high school. He's a senior, and he's great, man. We just went to the LA County Fair, and I had a wonderful trip, and I'm thankful for that. Like you know, my son and I, we went to there was like this lumberjack display, and we did the 2-man saw, and we're like sawing the wood, and those little things like that when I'm alone. And I'm just by myself, and I'm like, wow, I'm really thankful for these moments, and I got to remember like to say it out loud, and it's those things that I'm just thankful for. Anyways, your turn.
Yeah. No, I think you should be grateful for all that.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, you want me to be grateful too?
Yeah. Maybe we should go back and forth one on one. I don't know. I kind of hugged the grateful mic right there.
It's so important what you're saying, and everybody. Here's the thing: you cannot be simultaneously grateful and depressed. Can't do it. Because gratitude is the enemy of depression. As soon as you start getting grateful, you see, depression is a disparity between what you have and what you think you should have. Right?
Yeah.
So, like, you get depressed when you think, I should be more successful, or I should own a nicer car, or whatever it is. It's that distance between reality and fantasy that depression lives in.
Yeah, maybe I should be with Christy Brinkley.
Right. Christy Brinkley. Oh, you brought it up again. My word.
Oh, gosh.
Well, I wouldn't do. All right. Anyway. But gratitude is grounding. It takes you to the present. You can't be in that future fantasy land in your gratitude, because your gratitude for what is, your gratitude for what you have. What you have, once you start being happy for what you have, in Hebrew it's called sameach bechelko. They say, who is truly happy? Somebody who is sameach bechelko, somebody who is happy with their lot. And the reason is, why that person's truly happy is because they're living in the reality that they have in gratitude. So they're grateful for the life they have. Now, I'm not like that. I'm a very miserable man. No, I'm kidding. I have no gratitude. I'm grateful for everything. I'm grateful just for being alive, for as we sit here and joke around, a close friend of mine is dead. Many close friends of mine, but I recently lost a close friend. He can't do this. Then you got people who are not dead, but they're in the hospital, and they're confined to a hospital bed. They can't even be here. Then you got people, they're not even confined to a hospital bed, but they have a lot of chronic pain. So it's hard for them to leave the house, and if they do leave, it's painful. So once you start going through that list, you get to where you're at, and you realize, wow, boy, am I so blessed just to be here. And then you go, and not only am I here, but I have a car, and I could go other places in a car. Oh my gosh, I could go around, I could be here, and if I decide I want to go somewhere else there, I could do that.
Yeah.
I could do that, you know? And then you go, wow, boy, am I grateful I have a car, and I have money to put gas in that car. Oh my gosh, now you're one of the luckiest people in the world, you know? So...
And you're lucky. You know what I was thinking about this? You talked about how we're in this, for whatever reason, we're at this time right now, right here, 2026. I was thinking about this today. I went on YouTube and I'm like, you could look up almost any album, any artist, and it's going to be there. You can listen to it. You don't, like back in the day, you'd have to drop, $15 or whatever it was for a record. But now you can hear it and listen to it. And even if you're just curious, you know what I mean?
The amount of luxury that we have is unfathomable. And then forget about material stuff. Like what you talked about is much, much more important. You've got family. You've got your son, who you described as beautiful. I think, he's okay. But but you've got this, you've got this beautiful family and health and life and breath. And you get food. And you can have water. You're sitting in a room with air conditioning, with an equipment that records voices, and you can share your thoughts. And my God, we're the most blessed people in the world, and I feel like in history. And God gives us just so much, that when you think about that, and then you ever get depressed, you go, boy, you must be a real jerk. But, this coming from somebody who suffered from depression for many years. But I broke out of it. And gratitude is what broke me out of it. And I never want to go back. See, anxiety comes from a lack of faith.
Yeah.
And depression comes from a lack of gratitude.
Yeah.
So if you have a lot of faith, you can't be anxious. Because you understand, especially if you're a religious person, you believe in God, you understand, what am I anxious about? I'm not running this show. You can't be anxious if you're not in charge, you're just a passenger, relax. So you don't need to be anxious. It's in God's hands. And then if you're grateful, you don't need to be depressed. So all these people who are drugging up for anxiety and depression, I tried that route. It's not so great. You're much better off incorporating faith and gratitude into your life.
Amen.
So that's my but it's true. Thankfully I never got too much into anxiety. Right. Although I do have panic attacks. I guess that is.
Hey, look who just walked in. Your brother.
My brother Josh is here. I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. We're doing a little gratitude list, things that so this is Daniel Lobell for the listeners, and then this is brother Josh Lobell. Hi, Josh.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. You guys are both, I love when I see you guys. You guys kind of have the same body shape a little bit, and you guys make me laugh.
We're both super jacked. Really chiseled, the typical LA, Venice Beach, Muscle Beach.
No, you guys light up a room. You know that phrase, light up a room? You guys light up a room.
You light up a room.
It's got a flashlight.
Hey, I literally do. I cheat, though. I use a flashlight.
That's
you don't
good.
need that. You still light up the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been doing the podcast for about 39 minutes. But before we go,
you just read the time.
I do. I just read the time. Yeah.
Act like you've got such a great concept of time.
I know. I don't know. About 39 minutes and 17 seconds.
Clock knows exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Darren really has a good concept of time. He looked at the thing. It's digital. It said it. It's cheating. You can't see this because it's audio only. But the man's
audio only.
So,
I was curious. You did a previous episode. If you guys go back, it's something about hot tubs. It was 4 episodes ago. I forget what we called it, but I think briefly you mentioned about being a chef. And I was just curious, like, how you got into that, because a lot of people probably think they can cook, or they're like they make a little sandwich or they do something. How did you take it to a next level?
I just ate so much that I was like,
No, be honest. Tell him the truth.
Backward
Yeah,
engineer.
what-
He is
what-
telling the
what-
truth.
What is the story that you think?
Well, first of all, can we give it some validity? Like, because he's not just a regular chef, like, you know, at McDonald's or something. Nothing against those guys, but then you tell me he was a chef for, like, a private chef and
He's
stuff
private
like.
chef for some of the biggest.
Because he's not going to pump himself up, so we'll let Danny pump him up.
He private chef for some of the literally the biggest stars in the world. Like also,
the names.
I'm not going to say names, privacy, because all of them died from food poisoning. You don't want a lawsuit. but he private chef for some of the biggest entrepreneurs, people who own sports teams.
Okay, you're getting too many details.
People who live at 1571 Old Cherry Lane, North New Hampshire. Anyway, no, he private chef for some of the most powerful, wealthiest, well-known people in the world. He developed recipes for the raw vegan section of Erewhon Supermarkets, which is a very prestigious supermarket chain in California. But what I was going to say earlier is, Josh, I don't consider him a chef as much as I consider him just an artist. He's an artist, and when he takes a paint brush to a canvas, he makes something beautiful. And when he applies that art to food, he makes something beautiful that's also delicious. But his food is not only healthy, it's aesthetically pleasing, and it's delicious. So, like, he encompasses every part of.
I think between us, we've got, 750 pounds, maybe a little more.
I swear by his food. I was 100 pounds when I started eating his.
He's one amazing chef. I mean, this guy can cook, I tell you.
But I'm telling you, he's an artist, and when he cooks, it's not. It arrives like art. That's why people pay a lot of money to have him chef. Because it's not just healthy. He studied a specific thing, which is raw vegan. But it's not just healthy. It's not just nutritious and delicious. But the way he presents it is it's a very ethereal work of art, right? Like.
Okay.
When did you realize that you had a talent? When were
I'll
you
tell
like 12?
So Danny and I love to eat. Yeah. We love to eat. Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And my mom, everyone's peculiar with the kitchen. This is something I found out. Like, everyone's got, some people don't let you in the kitchen. Some people don't want to see you make the food. They don't want you touching it, whatever. My mom didn't let us in the kitchen. She didn't want us in the kitchen. But I loved food. I'm like, this is like, you're keeping me from my place right now, So she said, don't worry, you'll know how to make food by eating it. So I took that seriously, and I tried all the food I could, all the great food. If I had, wanted to treat myself to something special, I wouldn't go buy sneakers or whatever. I'd go to a restaurant that I did some research on, and that a chef that I really cared about, and so we're foodies, and when I decided to go to culinary school, I was
in the moodies.
Danny actually went with me to NorCal. We took a trip up to Napa Valley, Mendocino area, thinking about which culinary school I was going to go to, and we checked out the Culinary Institute of America in Napa,
CIA.
in St. Helena, which is a beautiful place.
Can I just say, it looks like Charles Xavier's Home for Gifted Students, like where the X-Men were born. It's like this big, almost like castle-looking place in Northern California, and you go in there, and everybody's developing their mutant powers, either for pastry or for savory food. I don't know what what are the
It's
two
true. You
tracks?
have to choose. You have to choose.
choose a track.
Are you going baking, or are you going like culinary chef?
Yeah,
they call it. They're different.
There's different tracks. You can't do both. You're either one or the other. And like either you're a pastry boy, a real pansy as they call it. No. Like, I'm a pastry boy. And like, yeah, you don't need to tell me, kid. Get out there and start kneading dough. And another guy comes, I'm Hector. I like to play with knives. Yeah, you're the chef. Go over there. No, but the CIA is like this very exclusive culinary school for gifted culinary students, right?
And rich people. It was like $200,000 to go to school there. I'm like, I'm not spending that much money.
yeah.
Like, I'm going to start out, making $14 in the kitchen, and unless you have money or someone's backing you to open up a restaurant,
Yeah.
It's an
it all
expensive
trickles
world.
down to the consumer, folks. You think you're paying too much money for that piece of chicken. It's because they're charging too much at culinary school. And therefore, this restaurant has to pay that guy enough money to pay back his loans. And it all falls back on you, kid. You could be paying 13 cents for that chicken. But somebody had to go to hoity-toity culinary school.
So did you end up going to that culinary school?
I didn't go. No, I went to a spot called Living Light Culinary School. It was a raw vegan spot. I absolutely loved it. It was the best time of my life, and it was a good place to start. And then, you realize you have to learn how to make everything, so you just keep learning and growing, right? Like, Danny was on stage, and he started making himself laugh, and he's like, I just thought of that joke. Yeah. It's like, you keep learning, you keep growing, and it's an adventure. That's what the arts are.
By the way, I just remembered a great Billy Connolly joke that reminded me. He goes, I stay up at night wondering the world's most unanswerable questions. Like, how does a snowplow man get to work in the morning? That's a great joke. Right? I remember when he did that joke and he started laughing afterwards. I said, oh, you guy's just so full of joy. Billy Connolly, and all these other comedians are just so miserable.
That's a great joke. You know who I met the other night at the Comedy Store in the kitchen that night that I did that show? Stephen Wright.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Did you see him there?
Stephen Wright.
And
love Stephen Wright. Yeah. Very deadpan. Yeah. It's a large. He goes, what's that famous joke? He goes, it's a small world, but I wouldn't want to paint it.
Stuff like that. Yeah, like I went to the fire hydrant factory and there was nowhere to park. Something like that.
I had a dream that all my stuff was stolen and replaced with exact replicas. I woke up and told my roommate about my dream. He looked at me and said, do I know you?
He had the great jokes. Remember he did the Tonight Show, then Johnny invited them back right away. It's like, but he said something philosophical about stand-up. He said that in stand-up, you're not only are you the student, but you're also the teacher.
What an idiot! Take it back. The man's a moron.
He's a moron. That's another thing for your gratitude list. You're glad that you didn't meet him that night.
If I knew that, I would have knocked him in the face and said, where's Artie Lang? I want Artie Lang.
I'm the student and the teacher. Yeah, that's hilarious.
That's a cool spot, the kitchen at the Comedy Store. We once met Andrew Dice Clay there. That was fun, Danny.
Yeah.
It's like the Hang, right? In the Comedy Store, the kitchen.
It's like the Hang. It's like the kitchen, and then you got those little nooks and crannies, and that's one of them.
Just going back for a second, so our grandfather, our grandpa Leo, may he rest in peace, was a brilliant artist. He was a great artist in every medium, in stone, in wood sculpture, in clay sculpture, in oil, in watercolors, in sketch. He was, right, Josh? He was like he was like a world-class artist, and he was the head of the art department for JCPenney's magazine during like the 40s and 50s or the 50s and 60s, during a time when the magazines. I don't know if you've ever seen these old magazines.
I love those magazines.
They didn't have photography. Everything was drawn.
They had photography also later on.
But in the earlier days, it was like everything was drawn. If you wanted to see what a dress looked like, they drew it, perfectly. And my grandfather would do that. He had a big drafting table, and he would draw. And I had all these artists that worked under him at JCPenney's and the art department. And it was really, it's not. I don't want to crap on the JCPenney art department of today, but this was a much more artsy art department when everybody was sitting there drawing. And Norman Rockwell, the great American painter,
love his stuff. Yeah,
Normie, he owed a lot of money to the government in back taxes towards the end of his life, so he had to take on work that he wouldn't have wanted to take on. And one thing he wound up doing was working with my grandfather at JCPenney's doing these pieces. And so so my grandfather was to us certainly the greatest artist who ever lived, and he understood in my brother Josh that his art was culinary. And you want to tell that story a little bit, like what he'd say to you?
He wanted me to make him food. It was smart. No, he unfortunately had a stroke, so he moved in with my parents for 10 years. I give my parents a lot of credit. They didn't want him going to a nursing home. Both of my grandparents actually lived with my family for like 8 to 10 years. And I made him breakfast every morning. He was an early riser. He'd be up at like 5:36 in the morning. And so I'd get up early and I would make him food. And he goes, "Josh, you're a chef." So I was like, all right, I need to do something with my life. I may as well.
But I recognized it in him right away at an early age. He said, "You're a chef."
Also, I love to paint. I love to sculpt. Like Danny said, Danny also, he a lot of people look at Danny and go, "Oh, Danny's a comedian." Danny's an amazing artist. He's a painter. He makes comic books.
Oh, yeah.
He makes autobiographical comic books.
Yeah.
He does all kinds of sketching. Before he went into comedy, or even while he was doing comedy, he was at FIT. He went to art camp.
Yeah, I learned comic book illustration at FIT.
What's FIT?
It's a school for gay people. It is.
It is, really? What does FIT stand for?
Don't say it. It's Fashion Institute of Technology.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
But there's a joke in there maybe about being, like fit, FIT, like I'm not fit,
Yeah.
but I went to fit.
I think 95% of the people that go there are gay, and I think
You were one of the 5% that wasn't?
No! I fit in!
Like, I'm in the wrong school. I'm supposed to be doing baking at that other school.
Oh, yeah, no, we were all super gay back then. It was the 90s.
But the thing I'm trying to say is that, yeah, I think it's when you're an artist, you've got so much talent to share in so many different areas.
Yeah. So art,
Darren,
art is transferable.
You go up and you do comedy. You also create a club in 2 seconds. How many people can do that?
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Thank you.
art is art. Art is transferable. It's not, I like to sing and I do music. I'll do painting. I like Josh said, I like to do all different forms of writing, stand-up, acting, whatever it is, it's art. And art, if you're an artist, you can put your art into different things. My interest is not to put it into food. I don't have the patience for that. It's also why
I remember hearing David Lee Roth. He was talking about when they would do the Van Halen tours. He would design okay, I want to make the merch, the art for the merch. Like he had this vision of not just being the lead singer, but
cool.
and he goes, and we'll do the merch like when we do like the South. I want the merch to kind of have this vibe, and then when we do the New England, maybe the merch should look like this, and that must be kind of cool to have the mind for that, and then also the money to be let's do this merch.
Yeah. I mean, but what I was going to say, Josh is like a fine artist, and I'm like a sloppy artist. I don't know, there's...
Sloppy Joes.
Sloppy Joe, man. But, I don't do my own illustration in my comic books, even though I can, because I hate the tediousness of it, and I hate working in perspective and stuff like that. And so I'd rather outsource that and do the writing. And by the way, the writing is also very tedious, and it drives me crazy. And whenever I do one of these comic books and I'm finished with it, I say, that's it. I'm never doing another one of these again, because it drains me so much to do one. But anyway, I can't imagine doing that and the drawing. But Josh, what he does with his food, it's hard to explain.
Enough about me.
Tell him about the raw apple cake that you made me one time.
Don't worry about it.
No, tell him.
Danny...
Tell me about apples, and then we'll wrap up the podcast.
Okay, so Danny used to open up for Ralphie May. He did that for, 8 years?
Yeah, on and off.
So we went to Ralphie May. There's a movie coming out. It's called
Come What May.
Come What May. So we went to the movie
Very
premiere.
good movie, yeah.
Great movie. And
Real good film of the summer.
They were interviewing his family after, and his daughter wrote a book of poetry.
Yes.
Oh.
You could check it out on Amazon. Her name is April June May. That's her name. And she said, everyone's an artist. And I was like, man, I don't know, maybe, kind of, in kindergarten. And she got really like serious about it. She's like, no, everyone is an artist. You got to find, what it is that you like to do and do it because you're an artist. And you know what?
Yeah.
It hit me. She's younger. She's like 16 or something like that. 17, 18 maybe. And she stood her ground.
I think she's 18.
18?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
My son and April, they're like the same. They were born, it's crazy. They were like the same year, basically the same month.
Both of Ralphie's
It's wild.
kids, as a great credit to Lana Turner, both of the kids are just phenomenal. They turned out to be such wonderful. They always were wonderful kids, but they've developed into even just such wonderful young adults. August and April, May, they're just. I'm so proud to know them, but anyway, as Josh was saying.
Yeah.
About being an artist, she said.
So she stood her ground and she said everyone's an artist, and she was like really serious about it. So then I was like, you know what, she's right. And if you're listening to this podcast and you're thinking about exploring some kind of art, whatever it is, whether it's culinary, comedy, comic book making,
Finger painting.
power to you. Go ahead and do it. Start now.
Yeah,
Woodworking, collecting something like
to bring it back to godliness, God is the creator, right? As we understand God. And they say man is created in the image of God, which means that man is created in the image of creating. So we are creators by nature because we strive to be like God. The way we do that is through creativity. So what is art? It's just different expressions of creativity. Right? So April, June, May is correct. Like everybody is a artist. You just have to channel into that godly spark within you that is creative. And then you can create. You create different things. People create. I know one person who created a real mess.
You know what's funny? The book, The War of Art, they said in that book by Stephen Pressfield, he talks about some of the reasons people have a little bit of depression is because they're not doing the thing that they should be doing. Like it's easier to write graffiti on a wall to get your name up there than it is to actually study and become a doctor and get your shingle above the door or whatever. You know what I mean? Right. So if you're listening and there's something that you should be doing, go do it.
Unless that something is like to create a bomb. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, create something positive for the world.
I should be doing this, and I've been telling myself for years, and now Darren has pushed me. I'm going to kill everybody. All right, slow down.
Slow down, okay? Yeah. Well, guys, we're going to wrap up the podcast. I want to thank you guys for listening, and I want to thank my guests. I want to thank Josh. I want to thank Daniel.
Thank you for having me.
And you guys, thanks for coming back on. And Danny has a podcast also. It's called We Think It's Funny.
We Think It's Funny. And Darren, I know you collect all things Osama bin Laden. And
not true.
Big market for it.
Darren has the most phenomenal bin Laden collection.
Oh, gosh, no, I've been collecting bolo ties. It's really cool. Thank you.
I didn't even know they made so many He has the bin Laden salt and pepper shakers. He's got.
Oh gosh. You know what's funny, dude? Right after 9/11, there's a guy. He's an artist who graphic artist, and he goes, "I want to do good for the world. I want to do good for the world." And he messaged me and he goes, "I want to make a poster for you." And his name was Ben Luna, and it looked so much like Ben Laden. It was Ben Luna. Shout out to Ben Luna.
Ben Luna.
I was like, why is Ben Laden emailing me? It's weird.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bibi Netanyahu. I want to tell you something. Ben Luna is a great guy. He may have a name that sounds like a terrorist, but in Israel, we love him and we love his art. And we love Darren Carter, even though Darren Carter loves Bin Laden. And Bin Laden...
Not true. Hey, can you sing us out as Billy Joel? The name of the podcast is called Pocket Party. So somehow, as Billy Joel put in Pocket Party podcast.
Now Darren Carter's a friend of mine. He does a podcast for free. And he's quick with a flashlight. And you know how to rhyme things.
You should just say that part about the joke. He's quick with the joke.
He's quick with a joke. And he also pulls out a flashlight. But there's some place that he'd rather be. Afghanistan.
No, I don't like it. No, it's not true.
La 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 la. Darren loves Bin Laden.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I do not. Guys, listen, it's the Pocket Party Podcast. I'm your host, Darren Carter. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for helping us start that party in your ear holes. I'm on Cameo. Go check it out. Cameo, Darren Carter. Bye. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Send this man a check.
Yeah, we think it's funny as my podcast. Check it out. Thank you.
You got it, buddy. That was funny.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, then listen to the Pocket Party